Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of Disco Elysium. Last episode we were uh, asking the sniper. He's a guy that lived the war and he had this gun, the train gun, and it seemed that he can shoot 4.46 caliber. And he probably he's a murderer. We already saw the place where he shots and we are going to talk to him right now. Let's see if he's the shooter. Probably yes.
Minions of capital. What do you want?
Composture.
I ain't going.
Let me check. I have composture clothes. How much did you give us? 8%. Nah. Okay, let's change it to perception.
Minions of capital. What do you want?
Once more, Mr. Dross, the colonel. We need to talk about you killing him.
Petty bourgeois law. This is all you care about, right? The only thing in the world for you types.
A drop of blood in the saliva. That's right. Pile it all on him now. 3 should do it. Maybe 4.
May bells behind the victim's window. I saw them growing here. Point to them.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them.
He seems tender suddenly. Nostalgic even. A strange mood swing.
So many this year too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
I haven't seen these flowers anywhere else in Martinis, only here.
They blossom on the islets before we fertilize them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May before they ruined it.
South, the Bay of Martinez is dotted with little freckles of islets, turning green, with white flowers in white snow.
The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
You must get around a lot to stay undetected all these years. Do you know any secret paths? Pinball workshops?
I may.
A curious tremor passed his face. A young woman called Classy. Ring any bells? Lower like these were behind her window.
Classier.
He knows her, but hadn't heard the name.
Yes, Classy. You hadn't heard the name, had you?
My ears don't reach the city.
You know her, right? She is the intimate relation with the victim, the mercenary.
With the Vic.
He turned his sight from the whitening field of flowers and falls silent. Then the muscle in his jaw twitched as spans.
Almost. But you need one more. Just one. Or maybe 2.
I wonder what brand of boots you're wearing.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa? Some shit.
Show me the soles, please, Mr. Doras.
Fucking imbecile.
The old man stretched out his leg. A black and white spiral pattern covered the sole of the worn-out old running shoes on his feet.
The maker is called Sansarique, and the size is 42 to 44. These are not the unusual horizontal patterned soles you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room. They do, however, seem to be about the same size.
The size fits, but not the sole.
Wait, maybe it's simpler than that.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
People change shoes. It doesn't mean you weren't there. Near the room the victim died, sneaking around.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that dead fuck.
The lieutenant gives you a quick sideways glance and nods to acknowledge. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering, looking for something. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind. Seagulls in the distance. More. He's gonna crack. But you need a little more.
We done the ballistics. Point to the tower. The shot came from this island.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession.
The lieutenant softened his voice.
You've been here a long time, Mr. Dross. Too long. You clearly need medical aid.
I'm ready to die. I've done my part.
He's practically admitting to it. Dead fascists for fascists. Done his part. Just one thing remains unclear. The rifle does not seem to have a scope.
One thing, where is the scope? How do you make the shot without a scope? We have everything else.
Forget about your stupid fucking scope. I don't know where it is. Find it yourself. It's your problem now.
He lost it. He just doesn't know where it is. Forget it. Push
You,
on.
you save faces, you're admitting you killed him?
You're sad for your fascia brother, aren't you? One twig got broken. Now the others are sad.
He waved his hand, there a twitch, then one more on his right eye.
Leave no stone unturned. Get him on what matters most.
I don't need your cooperation, I got this. Show him the trade gun 446.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun. Not like your musketeer pistols. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen. He would have a good view of the tribunal from here. It's not just empty boasting. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
We stop changing the subject, we have the murder weapon. Point to it.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it?
I'm calling it. We have the murder weapon.
Good.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and draws a single line.
This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
Murder.
The old man doesn't say anymore. He just glances into the reeds and then twitch once more.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood.
He was a killer, but he was still under the protection of the law.
Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner.
Okay, he
Got
just
your
confessed.
attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
He breathes through flared nostrils.
This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him.
You shot him?
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
You can almost see him squeeze a tear out of his eye. His fists begin to tremble from the anger.
The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you. Hush. He does not need to be pushed anymore. The ball is rolling.
Just not.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them. In phase. And I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth.
He begins to smile.
I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
Then what?
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own, and so they did.
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
The lieutenant asks after a second of silence.
Yes,
A single word is all that he gives.
And you were looking at them, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
The lieutenant takes out his notebook slowly, very slowly.
The old man nods.
Why?
because that's what they were doing.
He shrugs, then smacks his lips.
The motive. This is where the motive is going to come from. You can coax it out of him. The lieutenant's preparing the ground.
Can I give? Yeah, I can level up. Hey, I have 2 levels right now, so I will give 1 point suggestion, I think. Let me get 2 points in suggestion. Yeah, 2 points in suggestion, and the next one will be to visual calculus, and the rest one will be here. And I have more? No. Okay. You can coax it out of him. The lieutenant's preparing the ground.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
Why? Were you looking at them at that night?
I'm always looking.
He cocks his head to the side, then turns his eyes into the city. Another tremor passes his right side, lower intensity.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
And if you don't like it?
Click.
You pull the trigger.
Yes.
He looks
Think
you
of
in
it
the
as a
eye.
form of critique.
You got him going. Connect every little piece now. Wrap this up like a gift. Start with when he first saw him. It will give him a chance to ramble.
When did you first see the disease?
3 weeks ago, when the rich hag came in on her galley. Her honor guard came in tow.
Joyce. He means Joyce.
But that you mean Joyce Messier, the Wild Pines rep?
Wrinkled up whore.
Yeah, what was this? But no. Moving on, the victims arrived time after her.
They moved into a deserted apartment above the roundabout. Radio equipment out for all to see. Reactionary radio playing, sloppy and drunk. I've seen their kind during the landing. Those Occidental and Mesk phalanx weren't conscripts. Boys like us. They were whites. All they know is to destroy and hurt.
Whites?
Barely alive. They like to kill while they're on their drugs. After the landing, in the burning years, I would take shots at them. End them. The worst ones, if I had a bullet to spare. I could see they've returned now to show their real face. The face they don't dare show their bourgeois voters back on Mundi with their families and polyester clothes.
Yeah, he's full of hate. Full of hate. What specifically did you not like about what you saw the night of the murder?
Them. Fucking. I didn't like that.
So you were jealous?
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore. And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second, writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But you can't have everything.
Man, you're so full of anger.
He wants to see her covered in blood.
How long have you been watching her?
Since she came to Martinez. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Feld building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving.
Past the Feld building on the coast? What was she doing there?
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
What do you think she hid there?
Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Brut.
Yeah, remember that she told us that she throw everything to the water.
In the free state of Seminine, hidden away at the edge of the earth, near the Pale.
Some kind of hidden container on the coast you look into?
Yes, after she'd gone. It was a submersible. Well made, actually.
Sloppy, we should have gotten her to tell us about this. Did you take the documents?
No, I put them back. Why would I take them? I'm not going to phone. Oh, I mean,
Moving on, did you continue watching her after this?
I did. She had a face like an archipelago with those birthmarks, and a body hard and lean and bruised all over, black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too. A spook, on the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
You could tell she was a spook? From the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo, and glasses. Forged. Some sordid bourgeois affair. I've heard about this kind of thing on the radio.
Yeah, he's not a stupid guy. He's pretty intelligent.
He's setting it up for you. The bruises, you can't make that out in a scope.
And you could see her bruises through the scope of the rifle?
You can't see bruises through a scope. It's just a blur.
How does he know those minute details about her body?
It quickly comes to you.
The bruise on her body, any chance you've seen them through a hole in a wall?
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers into little lines with a knife. Masturbating
Did you make that hole?
with a clip point knife.
Good for listening in, too. For hearing the moaning and the snorts.
Okay, so he's the responsible of Garth's hole in the whirling racks. Ever seen through a window on a roof?
Like that, too. Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass.
You've been through a secret route behind the whirling racks. Those were your footprints there. You just changed your shoes.
I've been through all of Martinez. Every nook and cranny.
And that too.
Yes, that too. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do to feel good. Funny the way light works. You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do some shit, but
He keeps shaking his head.
Those two took the cake. You hear the familiar scribble of the lieutenant's pen. A quick glance at you. One more loose end down. We're doing this, detective.
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
I can just walk in there now after a good wash. I told you, they think I'm an antisocial. Closing hour is a good time. The kitchen's empty.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen? How?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope.
He points toward the whirling racks. You had feelings for that woman.
There's nothing to hold on to. Only this. It's not enough.
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly, like stones dripping with water. Is he crying?
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know.
Now, was that why you left the dry flower behind her window?
No.
He started to shake his head again, a sunflower on the withered stalk. Why then?
I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of her room on the floor. like she does sometimes.
When was this?
The day after I killed him.
And you brought her Maybells?
Yes, I don't know why I do the things I do anymore.
Say nothing.
Neither does he. He lowers his head, like a sunflower on a withered
Yeah,
stalk.
why you're going to point, like, they do a psychological intervention here? Nah.
In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes, then nods at you once more. One more down.
So, in conclusion, it wasn't about him, it was about her.
Her.
He repeats, staring at the ashes. Then the reads. There's a twitch in the corner of his eye.
The lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement. That's it. Motive. We have it.
Okay, now I'm going to give a point to visual calculus, I think. Paint ratio, what does this do? Sure, the paint, they have to hurt you more. Yeah, this can be... Because I don't want interfacing. Interfacing is, yeah, so something like lock picking and stuff. Drama, we have enough drama right now. We need more than the authority. Never. We never use it. The Spirit of Corpse is something pretty good. And paint ratio, yeah, I'm going to give 1 to visual calculus and then we are going to paint ratio. Let's continue.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days.
She got away, we don't know where she is.
Good for her. That girl kept staring into the scope, you know. In the end, this last week, kept staring at the island. At night, crying or smoking on the roof. Like she knew I was here. It doesn't matter.
Midtown, across the Bay of Revachol, the oceanic wind washes 40-story towers. Above them, Lucerne Central Aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the sky by a web of suspension wiring, encircled by hybrid aircraft.
I like Shivers. Shivers is like you are like freaking Spider-Man. Look north.
On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol. Yet still, she smiles among the crowd, among the great ghost of the city she's leaving, for another, far south, smaller, distant, hidden, not like the great chandelier she sees sparkle in the night below her. Streetlights, towers, tenements, and water, and across it, a dark strip of ruins, barely visible, if she didn't squint her eyes. There, on a dilapidated jetty, in a nameless village, 2 police officers and 1 special consultant look across a narrow strip of sea. The ruins of a seafort stick out of the water, built by Philippe II, reappropriated by the Commune, then lost in the landing.
Our clothes are so good that we get a lot of this stuff. It's so great.
He's there, doing what exactly, I don't know. Satellite Officer Vic Mayer points at the ruins. Behind that anti-aircraft something. That's why we can't see him. Special Consultant Heidelstam is optimistic. We'll see the boat when he comes. Let's go get a coffee until then. I know this interesting little place. Where? His voice trails off as the 3 walk down the jetty. As the men go, Patrol Officer Minnow looks back over her shoulder at the crumbling fortification like a rotten tooth rising out of the water. Good luck, Harry, she thinks. You need something good for this.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
Who knows what he's seen and done over the years?
Yeah, that's the problem. That's what Kim said. He can be shooting people all over the place. And remember that the woman that gave us the boat, she said that she find corpses all over the place. So he can be killing people all.
You could get more out of him. He likes talking.
Yeah, he haven't talked with normal people in years.
Enough. Take him in. Bend his arms behind his back and end this.
Been looking at anything else you haven't liked?
A tragic comedy. Druggies, prostitutes, and rentiers.
More specifically?
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house. Stripped clean and draped in neon. But Martinez is the worst.
How come?
Because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite thing to do in the whole world. Listening to race-themed radio shows. In the ruins, in their lorries,
He points the inland.
pumped full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Race this, race that. It's all sanctioned by that Social Democratic Union and the farce of a Social Democrat who runs it.
Mr. Clare?
Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square, to spit on the working class.
Let him finish, don't interrupt.
Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class than the Martinez proletariat. The rest of Revachol at least pretends to rebuild. These people still live in ruins. In tents, like animals, like those boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs.
He keeps shaking his head with sorrow of the side of him is. The side him is not.
The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. Her gun-toting porcelain men are dead. So, actually, no. The worst is that old cock parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not enough that the racists and liberals are dancing on our graves. The old loyalist ghouls still parade the ruins too. Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon, or Koyamoran, or some other island they built their palaces on, feeding on drugs and having sex with their own children.
He's full of hate. I have to say his voice actor is amazing. Say nothing.
That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain, it's all just an excuse for them to have sordid sex. At least that old cunt, Frisell, is now dead.
Now I have some question about this.
We did good when we pushed him under the horse car. Until, in the 30s, those disco whores.
He breathes in his breath heavily with hatred you cannot make out a single word.
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center, leaving only a nonsensical sputter. There was something about a statue and nihilistic advertising agency people might be worth investigating.
There was something about the statue on the roundabout and syphilis?
Syphilis is a disease Philippe III
Yeah.
contracted in a whorehouse. The statue is an abomination.
Yeah, abomination?
The bacteria entered his brain and made him squander trillions on sparkling wine, cocainum, and monuments of himself. His son, Philip IV, the insane, contracted syphilis in the womb.
He breathes in with a whistle of hatred. Remember, syphilis is a sexual transmission disease, and right now it has a cure, but before it hadn't. It didn't have any cure, and people get the last stage of syphilis is brain, cause obviously brain damage. So yeah, you're seeing he's talking about that.
That is technically possible, although Philippe III was not actually syphilitic. He was just mad.
Okay.
And he still went on to govern Revachol for 25 years. We lost 2 million lives toppling that mode of government. And those grotesque statues too. Hundreds of them.
But it's still there.
What a keen remark. Yes, it is, isn't it? It's still there. Do you know why?
Because cynical advertising UPs erected the constructed version of it.
That's right. Some advertising cockroaches erected a cynical deconstruction of it.
Yeah, someone told us about
We
this.
tore it down with honest working-class plastic explosives. And there it is again.
He shakes his head in disgust.
Art is a bourgeois establishment. It's an affront to humanity. Every gallery should be bulldozed, and the artists should all be given 30 years of hard labor in Yekokata.
You mentioned the union is a socially democratic and Mr. Clare a farce of Social Democrat.
Another hideous disappointment. Unions are the real enemy. The true enemy of the proletariat. Placating the masses.
Disappointment. So personal. He displays a familiarity with the Union's top brass.
Who a disappointment ever clear?
That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his own ass. I mean, the brains of the operation. The smart one.
Edgar.
You mean Edgar Error brother?
He talks a big game about uprising and social base. They must have sent the smart one to some university in Le Jardin, where it's alienation this and hegemony that.
He's been sweet-talked by this Edgar. They must have met in person for such animosity to have developed.
We're not the first people you met from the city, are we?
You can't live alone.
He stopped speaking and the agent now just shakes his head.
The Clares wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard. Not all this time. Nothing happens in Martinez without them knowing.
Of course. Maybe the Clears asked him to. Don't go straight for the kill. Exhaust everything else first. Soften him up.
Have you approached them?
I haven't approached anyone. I hid. It was Edgar who came to me.
How did he know you were here?
He didn't just stumble in like an oaf. He figured it out. Some kids told him about a monster on the island. I told you, he has brains.
He points to the path leading to the tower.
Stepped right off the boat and walked down where you came. I even kept the door open for him. Thought he was a man of the left. Wouldn't rat me out. I was right about one of those things.
When was this?
20 years ago. Neither of them could walk now, could they? They were less fat then.
That's around the time the Clears came to power.
What did you talk about?
Edgar did the talking. Paid his respects like I were a fossil in a uniform. Offered platitudes about the struggle. Flaunted his pink degree. Even quoted Marzoff. Never trust a social democrat who quotes Marzoff. Oh, and charity too. They love their charity. Offered me blankets and social housing. I still have the gas cooker he brought.
He let you be here?
Let me be here. The ZOC is an unlawful successor of the Commune of Revachol. We took this fortification from the Loyalists. Even the Clares understand this.
They let him be here. Understanding was a courtesy. But why such a courtesy?
Mr. Droz, did you kill the Colonel Mercenary for the Clares? To incite a riot?
You know why I killed that fucker, Duat. As to Edgar, I'm not doing anything for that swine again.
Again? What have you done for Edgar before?
Tried teaching him some Marzovian socioeconomics. They didn't stick. We parted ways.
He got.
Okay, he didn't do the hanged man for them. But he's insinuating something. There is more here. You can feel it. He was not outright lying.
What was the deal between him and Edgar?
The connection comes to you like a splash of cold water. Dark, cold water.
20 years ago, when you met Edgar, the Clares didn't run the Union yet, did they? A splutter from the old man.
He acknowledges it. Here we go. A twist behind the dark bend.
Who did?
That bourgeois cow. Tiffin Holly was her name. Licked the rich man's hand every time he came to town. Never seen a labor leader so hot on mutual cooperation. And money. She liked that too. That Holly was a real bridge builder and a deal maker.
And then she just disappeared.
Called in, they say. On the eve of battle. Ran away. Vanished like a piss stain.
He squints and smiles at the black locks.
No, that's not quite it, is it?
Did she? They say her daughter called in, not her personally. But that wasn't really her daughter, was it?
No, I guess it was not.
You could swear you see the embers glow again under his eye on the dust. Edgar had someone make the call. What that, Mr. Dross?
She couldn't make the call herself
Here it is, the bend in the river.
Why?
because she was dead.
Just say nothing.
Say nothing.
The cow caught a bullet in her right lung, fell into the canal grasping her tit and drowned. Or bled. Hard to say. It was a sloppy job, and a moving target. She was going home, waddling, dressed in yellow, drunk like she often was. The ruins were black around her, and she had a yellow leather bag under her arm. She tried to cross the canal, heading home to Grand Couronne or Betancourt, someplace like that, where they build those new bâtiments for the people who flourish in the hell around her. And the
You
ruins.
you shoot her.
Someone shot her. Or maybe the cow just fell. My memory is full of holes. All I know is nothing changed. Not in the material base, not in the hegemony. There was no uprising. Just words. The Union fizzled, sogged. Nothing came of it. Nothing.
Edgar didn't keep his part of the deal.
As Sputtering again, nothing more.
If you were to testify to this, give the RCM something on Edgar, you could walk.
The lieutenant says in a voice even calmer, as if it were nothing at all.
We would strike everything you've done and process you as a POW. You were in a war. You were on assignment. We could even extradite you to the Samaran People's Republic.
A degenerate worker state. Go shit. No, thank you. I'm Revacholian. My days are short. I will rot away here, in a moral intern cell. I will not testify to anything.
He quotes, but you did do it.
I saw it happen, and I liked it. That's all I have to say. I didn't live and fight for 40 years to end up as a collaborationist. I've heard it on Channel 8, 40 AM, Radio Revachol, late night. Everyone is a blobber in this world. Everyone betrays everyone. They're all already locked up for betrayal. The best ones, the ones with heart, were slaughtered, trampled.
He looks to the city.
The same old freezing hatred. There is plenty here to work with once he's in custody, and the lieutenant knows it. He gives you a little nod to proceed.
By the cock brain parading in his colorful uniform, you mean Rene?
Every fucking morning for 34 years. Throwing that ball.
Oh yeah, he loved it.
One ball against the other. I've always loathed that game. That is not a working class game. I don't care what they say on Radio June. Royalist ghouls played like it was life itself. Click, clack across the water each day. And that uniform, like a parrot plumage. I won't even mention that he's a traitor to his race. A Patank maniac race traitor.
Just not.
I remember him. I remember him from La Noce. Not him, personally. His make and model. There were tens of thousands of them. I thought we took them all out before the Liberals came to their rescue. We missed one. That one.
With his shaky finger, he points to the city, towards to the crater near the plaza where a lonely pine tree stands.
There doesn't seem to be a single person under the pine today. Not even Gaston.
Just not.
Fat and plump, like a pheasant, just begging to be popped off. Please, Mr. Dross, shoot me.
Let's definitely back off. Now calm down.
Calm down. I'm not angry. I adore him. He reminds me of everything we fought for. At least we killed that Ficel and his kingsman.
He overtaken by the coffee. Okay, I'm glad we talk about this now.
Glad? It's all gone.
Let me drop a save because I want to arrest him.
The
Let me drop a
old
save.
man stares despondently at the logs. It's like he's forgotten you're there.
Yeah, I would like to try this one, but I can. It's 3%. Josef Lilianovich Dross. You're under arrest for the murder of Ellis Kortener.
What? But
They-
you said I would be taken to the...
The wind picks up. The silence on the water is broken all around you. Little shivers of waves appear. The lieutenant continues, like an incantation.
Your Wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you understand?
But
Do you understand, sir?
no, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
He looks at the reed's eyes submerged in the growing terror.
He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
Okay, let's do a perception check here. Wait,
There it is again. To your north, as it has been since you came to the coast. The reeds whisper, stalks rubbing against each other. But then, in the middle of it,
what?
something completely different. It sounds like a bow, very slowly being drawn against the strings of a violin.
Okay,
A very
don't tell me someone is
small
going to kill him.
violin, made of reeds and rushes.
Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat.
Shush, Kim, do you hear that?
What?
What are you talking about? Is this really us?
The old man's voice drowns in the sudden gust of the wind.
Your skin crawls.
No, you can't get killed. Where is it? What the hell is that? Oh crap.
A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds, limb by limb, to then just stand there, moving its scythe-like arms in ghostly silence.
It's the freaking Phasmid. What is that? Point to it.
What are you talking about?
I don't know what the hell is that.
There's nothing there.
He looks confused.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you, with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head.
Man, we found the Phasmid. Okay, this is crazy. I'm
You feel your legs shaking under you and your gun hand move to your holster, but you don't have a gun.
No, what I go want to shoot to the Phasmid. I will never shoot. There is, I see it.
See what exactly? A bug?
Kim, can you see it?
I can see it.
4 simple words, thank God. If he can see, then know what to say.
Yeah, I was thinking that if he says something bad, I will be crazy.
But that means it's really there, spinning slowly, in absolute silence. Its limbs long and slender.
Be very, very careful.
The lieutenant whispers, take a step toward to a giant arthropod. Fuck. Okay, let's talk to the Phasmid.
The creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from its head like a woman's hair, white and curled at the tips. It is no more than 5 steps away from you. The segmented antennae move with apprehension, searching for something that's not there. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss, like a reel-to-reel machine spinning after the tape breaks. The hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch.
Approach carefully. 97%.
Slowly, with your breath held, you take 2 small steps toward the Phasmid. The creature lets out a series of ultrasonic clicks that swarm around your head like swallows. Like laughter, a sort of happiness. Hissing and clicking, it extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking up at the colossal chitin of its white limbs. The head of the creature is crowned by reeds, and its eyes are like small droplets of water.
Raise your hand slowly.
The insect stops its stridulation, seeming to observe you. Below its crown of reeds, little pinprick eyes detect motion, glittering. The world stands still around you. Suddenly, there is silence.
Put your hand too.
As you do, the invertebrate comes to life, its limbs moving independent of each other, as if each has a mind of its own. They are white, like stalks of porcelain, knitting above you, praying to you.
Don't pray to me, I'm nothing.
The reed creature does not stop its stridulations. It towers above you, parting the reeds it emerged from. Tuft-like structures still rustle on its joints.
Hello, I'm Harry, I don't know who I am.
No reply. A total ancient silence comes from its mouth, along with what appears to be some kind of foam. The stridulations of its limbs continue all around you.
Stand on your tiptoes and look more closely.
You were right. Little bubbles form on the mouth parts of the creature, on its segmented lower lip. It looks to be foaming, slowly. The foam is white, then yellowish.
Yeah, Harry has the balls of a bull.
The faintest smell, like you've never felt before, like burnt roses.
Kim, it's foaming.
Careful. It may be poisonous.
The lieutenant watched you apprehensively.
The foam slowly turns a darker shade, like burnt caramel, as the insect moves its mouth parts, masticating. The little bubbles begin to burst, one by one, letting out that same smell, like summer burning.
Okay. Tell me, what are you doing?
I exist.
Oh crap. Okay, now it's talking to us. Okay, I'm crazy. I exist too.
Tell me what it's like for you.
I'm ill.
What is your illness?
I'm ill in my head. I'm insane. That's how it is for me. Now, in my heart, for me it's sadness. Input after input.
For me, it is not like that. I have states, not emotions. For example, I experience excitement at unexpected sugar rewards. But that is not important. Now I will tell you how it is for me. For me, it is a series of half-lit images, a kind of darkness, being intruded upon.
Intruded upon by what?
Transient shapes of plants and animals, and internal sensations. A swarm of sounds, tiny vibrations on the inside of my forearms. All speak of complexities totally beyond my understanding. I am at the end of a narrow funnel, weightless, so light, it only feels like something to be me. In truth, perhaps I'm nothing. I certainly do not have a soul, and if I did, it would never ache.
I'm glad to be me, an incredible sensitive instrument.
Few of us can begin to imagine the horror of you, with all of creation reflected in your forebrain. It must be like the highest of hells, a kaleidoscope of fire and writhing glass. Eternal damnation, even when you're sleeping. And when you wake, you carry it around on your neck, with eyes open that cannot help but swallow more behind the mirror. I feel great, mute empathy for you.
It was very disorienting at first, but I'm keeping my shit together.
That must be incredibly hard. The Arthropods are in silent and meaningless awe of you. Know that we're watching. When you're tired, when the vision spins out of control, the insects will be looking on, rooting for you. And when you fall, we will come to raise you up. But from you, banner-like, blossom from you and carry you apart in a sky funeral, in honor of your passing. But not me, because I'm just a leaf eater.
I can't believe this is happening.
Detective, arriving.
I am a detective.
So am I. I was born to detect sucrose rewards and semiochemicals. What were you born to detect?
The killer.
He's in a bad state, deteriorating fast now. He thinks I am beneficial to him, but I am not. I only quicken his deterioration.
You're destroying him?
Very slowly, And only because he won't go away. It is meant to keep them from noticing me, to interfere with the pictures in their heads. But he has looked at me for too long, and I am destroying him.
In this dream, is this a dream? What is happening?
No, you are awake. I am real. Light is forming me. This is real.
Okay, let's start with the philosophical questions. Where does this come from? All this around us, the world?
Not even the birds know that. Not even the water lily.
Then all we can do is beat our fists against it, day after day, with no answer.
You can also eat it. If it's a leaf, you can put it in your mouth. Yum yum. Or read.
Okay, okay.
Wait, so,
Too sensitive of a matter. No,
yes,
yeah.
of course, the 3 meters tall stick insect would be offended.
I don't know. Imagine you get offended. What I'm going to do? What exactly are you?
I am an unknown species of the order Phantasmodia, endemic to the Insulandia Insula. For the last 350 years, I have hidden in plain sight, masquerading as the reeds, molding, cloning myself, unfolding at night to play with trash bins and boys.
So this Phasmid is saying that he can see him because he's sick, and that's why he's getting deteriorating, because he's close to him.
No one unnoticed by the first settlers and the land surveyors of the suzerain. Also, by the soldiers of the revolution and the officials of the occupation. Even the Samanese islanders who came here first, but did not stay, have not seen me. I have stayed hidden through 4 forms of government and 2 scientific revolutions, until I was accidentally discovered by a detective of the citizen militia in Reverchol, district of Martinez, March 51.
I have to say goodbye now. I have no more thoughts. No. That's insane.
No, you are. The moral of our encounter is, I am a relatively medium life form, while it is you who are a total extreme madness. A volatile senior nerve system ominously new to the planet. The Pale too came with you. No one remembers it before you. The Nidarians do not. The radially symmetrics do not. There is an almost unanimous agreement between the birds and the plants that you are going to destroy us all.
I don't have that kind of power.
You are a violent and irrepressible miracle. The vacuum of cosmos and the stars burning in it are afraid of you. Give me enough time, you will wipe us all out and replace us with nothing. Just by accident.
If this was another RPG, this would be the conversation of a boss fight. How?
We suspect it will be something like the oxygen holocaust that wiped out anaerobic life 2.6 billion years ago, when organisms first started breathing. Only much worse.
Instead of air, you exhale thoughts. There are no trees that eat thoughts.
Yeah, I know. Worse? Who? How?
Everything your eyes touch goes back there, behind the nose mirror. What if you blink? Are we still here? Please don't blink. What if he misplaces us all one day, or just forget?
I will be extra careful not to blink. A stick insect, don't worry.
Please be. Or one day, one of you will close your eyes and sigh, and open them to see that none of this ever existed.
Kim, am I having a violent epilepsy seizure?
It doesn't look like that, no.
Okay, forget it.
No. What's going on?
I think I'm having a vision about the final fate of mankind.
Okay. Is it somehow related to the case?
Sort of.
I think we should take the picture, and then you should back away from the unstudied species.
Yeah, I have to say goodbye now. Have no more thoughts, that was all.
No, there is one more.
Of all the creatures I've met, you are the kindest.
Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you before you go. That woman. Turn from the ruin. Turn and go forward. For all mankind.
I will try.
She was held on Earth. It doesn't take a 3-meter stick insect to tell you that.
I think he's talking about the woman that put the letter inside our table and stuff. I think it's that. But I don't know, and I don't want to ask. Okay, Kim, take the picture.
Okay.
With a slow ring of metal, the lieutenant's light lens opens and rises to the eye level.
There is no change in the insect's motion while it's being aimed by the camera. It remains fixated on you.
In 3. If it moves, you jump back. I'll shoot.
No, don't shoot.
3, 2, 1.
The shrill flash of the camera cuts
Man,
the
this
air
is
like
amazing.
the blade of a sword. The Phasmid freezes in its bright light. Head turned toward the lieutenant. Hypnotized by the flash, it stands frozen before you.
I got it.
Carefully pet its eye-like forearm.
The limb before you is incredibly light, like eggshell. It's much lighter than a reed. You feel a soft push could tip the creature over. Its hollow exoskeleton collapsing. Warning!
Run your arm and slender limb higher. Pull your hand away.
A sudden shiver passes the limb. Looks like the creature is awakening. Wave by wave from its stupor, some sort of countdown process is happening. That's all you have time to think.
We got it, back off.
Another shudder pulses through the creature's limbs. It jolts back to life, like a record continuing where it left off, in a swaying, praying motion. Even the small black pearls of its eyes do not stray from you.
Disengage slowly.
As you're turning away, the Phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water, the long limbs carrying its feather weight without breaking its surface.
Man, this was amazing. I have a smile on my face right now. This was incredible. I'm so happy. Wow, I never expect something like this.
And just like that, it's gone, skating away across the sea's calm mirror like a skipping stone, leaving nothing but circles on the water. And something under it, in the place it stood, bobbing there, among the reeds, a collection of items.
It's gone.
The lieutenant looks north with his hand raised to his brow. What's that in the reeds?
Looks like a nest of some sort. We should have a look.
Okay. What now?
What now?
The man behind you repeats suddenly. He puts his hand into the ash, dirty and black.
In some kind of strange, semi-catatonic state.
Our suspect is not looking so good. We need to check on him.
Yeah. Let me check this. What do we have? Okay. Alive. And we got the rifle scope. Okay, let me drop a save. Let's talk to a guy.
What is it? What do you want from me? I
See.
can't go.
Sir, how could you not see the Phasmid?
See.
He stares the reeds and falls silent.
Mr. Doras?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets. His gap-toothed mouth shaking with fear and longing.
Snap your fingers under his nose.
A light shiver passes him, followed by nothing. His hands are trembling, and he breathes slowly.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is, this solves our transportation problem. Doesn't it, Mr. Doras?
The trembling mouth appears to sigh.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid.
What has happened to this man?
Old age and shock.
He looks at him, then at you. I think it's the Phasmid.
Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the Phasmid, the combined stress. But you think it's something more than that, don't you?
Guilt.
There's much more. Remember what it said when it spoke.
He couldn't see it, Kim. It's just the reeds for him.
That could be part of the shock. But you're right, something is off here.
He
Mr.
touched
Doras,
the man's shoulder.
No response.
Could it be there's something hormonal in his relation to the Phasmid?
you mean pheromonal?
He seemed a little off for a man his age, Randy.
The scope, knowing of her bruises, his disposition toward Miss Orania? I see what you mean.
I talked to the Phasmid. It says it's destroying him.
You should be more careful, detective. Are you sure it wasn't having an effect on you?
Maybe. Anyway, it's only trying to remain unseen. The degradation is a side effect.
A valid hunch. Long-term exposure to something like that could be neurodegenerative. Also, please be careful when approaching unknown species in the future, Detective.
I know, but man, yeah, Harry is like that. He like that. He lunch in the middle of a gunshot with no weapons. He do whatever it takes. But he's crazy. So it's the way it is. He's been here for a long time. Who knows how much of it in his company?
He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him, like he didn't want to leave this place, and the insect maybe.
He looks at his
I
notebook.
have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all of this. This will be one hell of a report. Thank God we have the photo.
No one would believe you without it.
We have something in the Phasmid nest, Mr. Dross.
He stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything in him. Perhaps you should.
Show him the detached scope.
I lost.
You lost it, Mr.
He
Dross?
turns his eyes to the reeds again, as he's done so many times. Beige and white stripes.
He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there. With the help of a magpie Phasmid.
The lieutenant observed the lens sparkle in your hand.
This sight is a T9, Mr. Dross. Was it attached to the rifle when you made the shot?
Silence. Not even a sigh. You've gotten all you will out of this poor being.
Show him the ceramic helmet.
Nothing. Just dull staring.
Okay, I will leave
Kuno
him.
kicked it into the sea, as he said he did. The ebb would put it back here. This makes sense. Mr. Dross could have picked it up. Or the Phasmid even. If it did, this is incredible.
I'm going to let you to rest, Mr. Dross.
The plastic cape flaps around his face in a gust of wind. His back is slouched and his mouth open. The blacks of his eyes are receding. His pupils are returning to normal.
Hand tight.
We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here. If we don't take too long.
Okay, we need to go all the way back. But that will be in the next episode. Okay, today was crazy. We didn't do too much, we talk a lot, but it was crazy. We already have our murder weapon, we have our killer, and we got a Phasmid. That's crazy. I love it. People, thanks for watching. If you like it, give a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my social media. See you on the next video. Bye bye.